Let's jump right into it, man. Bellator 286, Long Beach, California. It's always good to go to Long Beach, right? Summertime in the LBC. You're back in action, man. You're facing Max Rohskopf, right? This
Yes,
will be
sir.
his promotional debut, man. How did this fight come together? Because you have 4 fights in Bellator, man. I'd expected somebody else.
Yeah, I think they're pretty high. They must be pretty high on him. Especially like my only 2 losses in Bellator are to people fighting for the belt, and then I'm on my other 2 fights I've won. So I'm on a 2-fight win streak. So for them to give me Max, I think that they must be pretty high on him, or kind of expect me to welcome him to the show. I pretty much put out the same fighting style every single time for Bellator, so they know what they're getting with me. So I don't know. They must not like him that much.
That's a way to look at it, right? That's a way to look at it. Yeah, let's talk about the first 2 fights, man, that you had. They Man, that's stiff competition right there. Just to introduce yourself to the division, right? These guys are in the top 5, instantly. Like what did you take away from those 2 fights, like that benefited you in this run that you have right now? These 2 back-to-back wins.
Yeah, so I fought Borix on short notice, and so it's like if Bellator just like come out for contact, that's probably not gonna be my first fight on it. You know what I mean? They're gonna give me some tune-up fights and people around the same skill level as me. But the Borix fight opened up, and my teammate Benson was on the same card, and I'd already been giving him work for the Chandler fight, not Chandler fight, Jesus, the Chandler fight. I was training partner for that, so I was already in shape. So when they asked me if I could take that fight with Borix, I was like, yeah, it'd be awesome to fight on the same card as Ben, and we'll get it figured out. And I thought I won the fight. I can definitely see how they give it to Adam. It was a really close fight. I thought my takedown in the third would have given it to me. But then again, with Nurmagomedov, so they give me him right off the rip, and I'm like, man, did I piss somebody off in Bellator? I think really, or they just want me out of here. One of the two. So I went in there and I won the last round with him. I ended up losing on the scorecards, but it's as close of a fight as he's had in his whole career. He's finished everybody in like a minute to 30 seconds in all of his fights. So I think it says a lot about the type of fighter and the character I have in the cage.
It does, man. It does. And like you said, the first fight with Boric, it was a split decision. One judge changes their mind and gives it to you. That changes that whole division. It flips it upside down.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of stuck too. I missed weight. It was short notice, and I still feel guilty about that. I've never missed weight in my entire life. And me and my coach had kind of decided that I'd outgrown the 45-pound division a few weeks before that had started, and we were going to start making that transition to 55. And then I take that fight, and they're like, we can put it at 50. I'm like, I could probably still make it, but it is what it is now.
Yeah, the transition from featherweight to lightweight, you've done it well, you know what I mean? But what I want to know is like the changes that you implemented to like become the best version of yourself at lightweight. What were they?
So I haven't really changed much. The only thing, my fighting styles had to change a little bit. At 45, I was so physical. I could be such a bully to people, like I fought that Bruno Souza who fought in the UFC for a little bit, and one judge before the disqualification had given me 3 10-8 rounds. Like I used to just maul people at 45s, but I was just depleting myself. I was wrecking my body. I was a pissy little bitch for like 2 months at a time, like just not myself. And so really I'm the same size that I was making 45, but I just get to enjoy my life a little bit. It's hard. I've been cutting weight since I was a little kid, and it takes the love out of it for me. And if I can beat these big bastards at 155, then heck, why not do it? If I'm happy and I'm eating good, whatever.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think mentally it boosts you, right? Like not being depleted.
Yeah, and it really gave me my chin back too. At 45, I couldn't take a punch. You'd hit me with something, and I was on wobbly legs already because I was just depleting my brain of so much of those like essential nutrients that you need when you go through those drastic weight cuts. And at 55, I don't do that, so I can walk through a brick wall at 55.
Damn, that's good to know. And going back to your opponent that's coming up, Max. What is your breakdown of him and the style that he brings?
Yeah. I think a lot of people write him off because of his one fight in the UFC. I don't think people really give him the time of day because he quit and it's so against, what fighters think and stuff like that. But Max is tough. I know Max from the college wrestling scene, and Max was a tough competitor. He's a heavy grappler. He's big for the weight. He's like 6'1", so he cuts a lot of weight. He's got a big old frame on him, and he truly believes in his grappling. Like, he'll do whatever it takes to get to the ground. I even saw him in the Hubbard fight. He was in on a single leg, and he threw himself to his back and kind of pulled guard went into like an X guard to start forcing that 50-50 heel hook position. And I was like, man, he just really wants to be there. That's where he's comfortable. So obviously my camp has been pretty grappling heavy, but I mean, I've been wrestling since I was 4 years old. I'm no stranger to it, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, you guys have similar backgrounds, you know what I mean? And going back to that one loss that you talked about, I think there's a stigma to that, right? And it's hard to shake that stigma, but when you're a fighter looking at another fighter, what's the perspective that you look at it from?
I mean, I understand that there's some things going on probably outside the cage that was affecting his mental a little bit, but if you've got that quit in you, that doesn't just go away. You see it in people's whole career. You can train yourself, you can kill yourself in the gym, and it makes it harder to bring that out, but if you've got that bitch in there, I just got to find it. Mm-hmm. So he's obviously got.
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm interested about is like, yes, people talk about Charles Oliveira, right? Earlier in his career, he had a couple moments, right, where he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there, and just like, I don't know, I don't want to say he quit because I'm not a fighter, but he lost, right? But now you see him, he's just like a totally different animal. But I wonder if it's still inside of him. I wonder if Islam can find that in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he could?
5th round, you never know. He's been freaking finishing people in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
It's easy to finish for 2. Kind of my thought. I thought Gaethje was gonna kind of take him into deep waters, and I was telling one of my buddies that I was like, man, if it goes past the 3rd, I was like, it really starts favoring Gaethje, and I was like, well, fuck, it's got to get there, right? That's all.
Yeah. Training camp for you, man. Where have you been splitting your time?
Yeah. So just like always, I've done every single training camp since I was an amateur at the MMA lab. We do everything in-house, so jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking, everything gets handled here.
So you've been probably working with Benson a lot because he has a fight, I think, next week?
Yeah, Benson. No, he fights this weekend. Yeah, Benson.
This weekend,
yeah, he fights Friday, I believe. Yeah, he fights Friday, and then I'm up next Saturday. So yeah, me and Benson were giving each other some work. And then I've got a whole stable full of like high quality wrestlers here at the gym. Yeah. So they've just been rotating in. They've been having a blast on me. We got a bunch of 70-pounders that I've been going with, just bigger bodies, getting used to wrestling with somebody that's a lot bigger than me. Because Max, on fight night, I expect he's going to have 10, 15 pounds on me. And I'm not too worried about it. It's all right, but I've just been putting myself in those situations, dealing with bigger dudes on top of me, how to get up, how to maneuver myself.
Has like your strength and conditioning coach changed things up a little bit so you would maybe be a little bit bigger on fight night?
No, because we kind of got to an ideal weight. We got to an ideal walking around weight, but we have been lifting more than we normally do. Normally we're prepped to, we're going to be the one to go out there and we're going to be the offensive wrestler and stuff like that. So my prep has changed just a little bit because I've never fought somebody that I respect their takedown ability, and I really do have to respect Max. Max is a good wrestler. So if I get taken down, it's got to be something that I don't stress too much. I got to go get it back some way or another. But no, strength and conditioning, it's pretty much been the same. We've added just a little bit more explosive.
In Arizona, man, it just seems like it's a hotbed for wrestlers. Like MMA Lab has all these wrestlers that a lot of MMA fans don't even know about that's training there. You got Fight Ready with a gang of wrestlers over there as well. Why is it that way? Why are you guys just getting all these top wrestlers to just congregate in your gym?
I think Arizona is a really underrated wrestling state, to be honest. So I mean, like, what I mean by that is when people think about wrestling states, they think of the East Coast, they think of the Midwest, and they think California. And, you know, Arizona is consistently a top 10 team. Shit, when I was in high school, we went to the national duels, we took 5th. You know, Arizona is a good state for wrestling. And then when your gym has success, it's obviously going to attract other people that want to get started, you know, and we're lucky enough that we get a lot of wrestlers that want to start their MMA career, and we get to kind of mold them. You know, that's what happened to me. I was a young wrestler out of college, walked in, had no striking experience, didn't know any jiu-jitsu, and, you know, they kind of molded me into what I am today. So we're trying to do that with a whole new stable of people. But I mean, also wrestlers are going to be everywhere anyways, right? Because they're the best in MMA. You got to be.
I love that. And yeah, it's crazy that, you know, you go in there as a pure wrestler and then mold yourself so quickly into a mixed martial artist. Like, I love seeing that progression. So for yourself, man, you're facing a wrestler. How do you see this fight playing out for yourself?
I'm gonna be like Chuck Liddell in there, baby, sprawl and brawl. No,
All right.
I see a little bit more advanced Mike. I'm not gonna, you know, I've been working on a little bit more footwork. I've been working on some of my own wrestling. You know, you're gonna see some new improvements. I'm finally back to 100%. My last 2 fights, you know, I had a torn up shoulder, got that thing fixed. It's my first fight back since surgery, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna look different out there when I got 2 working wings.
Definitely. One last thing, man, before I let you go, I wanted to pick your brain about Bellator 288. The lightweight title is on the line. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have your eyes on that fight. Patricky Pitbull versus Usman. You faced Usman. You know what he has to offer. Who do you see as the favorite heading into the fight?
Usman. Usman's he's better everywhere. He controlled it. The thing with Usman that people don't realize until they get in there with him is how good he is at his range. That's what stresses people out so bad, because they realize that they can't hit him, and they're gonna have to eat 2-3 kicks, not punches, 2 or 3 kicks to get in on him. And you know, Patricky's a vet. If he can get him down, he can get him down. But man, Usman was slippery on the ground too. I ride a lot of people, and I couldn't stay on top of him. You know, I took him down a couple times, but I couldn't stay on top of him. So I don't know. Usman's the best out of those 2, and I just got to make my way back to him. I know he don't want to fight me again. I saw it in his.
Yeah, style. You got to look at the styles, man. Stylistically, you are a problem for him.
Yeah, I'm a problem for everybody. I ain't gonna get out of your face the whole. Better be ready to fight if you're getting in the cage with me. So.
For sure, man. Hey, we're gonna see it, man. October 1st, Bellator 286. Long Beach, California. Thank you, man, for the time, Mike. Magic Mike, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.